Now, the self-proclaimed hardest gazer, Russ Cook, completed his gruelling run the length of Africa this week. Unbelievable.
That's right. Over 352 days, Russ covered over 10,000 miles, starting on the continent's southernmost point in South Africa. And along the way, he faced being robbed at gunpoint in Angola. He was then held captive by a local village for money in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And he spent Christmas Day in Guinea before finally reaching the finish line in Tunisia yesterday.
This is interesting, though. There's been some sort of argument about Russ's claim that he's the first to run the length of Africa. Nick Bourne ran from South Africa to Egypt in 1998, and he joins us now. Nick, a very good morning to you. Is that you there? You've got a suntan as well, didn't you? Nick,
good morning.
what's happening here? This bloke runs across Africa, and suddenly you're out saying that you did it as well. It's become a run fest. What's going on, man?
I was actually contacted a couple of days ago by a chap called Jesper Olsen, and he's part of a collective of runners, and they were basically saying that Jesper had done it. And I've been asked for a few comments. I did it a long time ago, so there's no reason that Russ would necessarily know that it had happened. It was I completed it in 1998, so I guess that's where the issue is. And then it's a question of maybe semantics of what the length of Africa constitutes. So I went from, I actually started running originally in Alexandria, and I ran through Egypt. There was some terrorist atrocities, you may recall, in Luxor. About 70 tourists were gunned down. So they closed the border with Sudan. And I actually ended up going down to South Africa in the hope that when we got back up to the Sudanese-Egyptian border, that the border would be reopened, which was the case. And I really think it's just a case of, Russ probably didn't know that anyone else had done it.
Can I ask the obvious question, my friend, to somebody who struggles to even walk to the toilet?
Yeah.
Why would you run across Africa, you wonderful human being, apart from charity? What sort of bird-brained idea is that? I mean, take a plane, man. What's wrong with you?
Well, it's everybody likes. I say everybody. Certain people like challenges.
Yeah.
Whether they climb up Mount Everest or row across the Atlantic. All sorts of people come up with ideas, and certainly, I think if you look at all of the people that have done the Trans-Africa, it comes down to they love a challenge, but they also have a cause that's very close to their heart. And I hope that any controversy that has arisen is not overshadowing the really important work that the funds that we all raise are used for.
What
for
did
the
you
charities.
raise money for, Nick? What did you raise money for?
So I was when I ran, I actually raised money for Save the Children and the Born Free Foundation. So I was really keen to promote education, healthcare, but also conservation.
Amazing.
And it took you 350 days. How much did you run roughly every 24 hours?
So when things were going smoothly, I was covering about 75 kilometers a day. So it's about about almost 50 miles, about 50 miles a day. So it's almost a double marathon a day. But there were certain periods when we had, mechanical problems. We got into very close to the Eritrean Ethiopian war because our vehicles got stuck in these kind of huge mud roads because there weren't any roads in those days. There's usual for Africa. There's always something happening that comes out of the blue that you haven't planned for. So there's always delays. Some of our team members got malaria. It's a long time ago, so it's difficult for me to recall every single detail, but there's always something going on in Africa that you don't expect. And in fact, I was there in February last year doing Cairo to Cape Town on a bicycle. And I was in Sudan literally about 3 weeks before the civil war erupted. So, for me, it's you've always got to think about, it's great for us guys to go and do these challenges, but actually living in these countries is the biggest challenge of all, dealing with climate change, dealing with hunger, dealing with lack of healthcare,
All
lack
of that's
of education,
wonderful.
all of the...
All of that's wonderful, but I have to ask you a very quick question. We'd really appreciate you
Sure.
being on in beautiful Dorset. Who would win in a race between you and the other bloke?
I'd definitely win.
Oh, and what about
Tell
in
me
a
that.
sprint? OK, we should try and set that up if we can.
Listen, amazing, actually.
Nick,
and I have
thank
to
you
say,
so much. The original hard geezer.
Yeah, in terms of the money that you raised, I think that's the most important thing. So
Yes.
thank you very much indeed. Nick Bourne for
Thanks for
being
having
on the show. Thank you, my friend.